Hey YouTube, this is Eric, and I don't know if anyone else out there runs into this, but Adderall definitely helps with my anxiety and depression, and here's how. If you haven't clicked the like and subscribe button, click the like and subscribe button right down there. It's all about people helping people, mental health, mental illness, sobriety, suicide awareness, and doing it together, because it's an us thing, it's a we thing, together, making a difference. Hey YouTube, this is Eric, and in this video, I wanted to go into how this right here, which is my Adderall, helps me fight anxiety and depression. Don't know how many other people run into this, but being ADHD, the one thing that I've noticed that I run into the biggest issue with is the hyperactive state of it is the H in the ADHD, because that can affect my mentality so many different ways, especially when it comes down to how I feel inside. A lot of times I can get very depressed, very anxious, just because I feel that I'm very out of control in my life. I can't control the thoughts. I can't control almost just wanting to sit down in one place. I know what I have to accomplish, but trying to accomplish it can be so overwhelming at times. And thankfully for me, I've done a lot of trial and error, and Adderall seems to be the one drug that really does work for my ADHD. It really helps keep me in check and keep me in place. And even not taking it for one day can throw off the next couple of days, just in the sole fact that I'm very structured. I need to have structure in my life. I found that for my own personal mental health, I have to have the structure there. I have to know what's planned. I have to know what's going on. If not, I get too spontaneous, and all of a sudden it becomes very overwhelming. Next thing you know, I've started so many different projects that I've never completed, that I continually fight this battle in my head of like, I know I need to slow down, but it's not happening. When I'm off of my Adderall for a prolonged period of time, one thing that does settle in is a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression. I get very depressed because I self-defeat myself in knowing that I'm not accomplishing what I need to accomplish. I feel like I'm wasting my days and that they're just passing me by. I look back at days at a time and I go, man, I didn't do anything at all that I wanted to do to be a productive human being. So it just ends up adding to the depression, to the point that it's almost crippling, that I feel that I'm almost in a sense a waste of a space, if that makes sense. I don't know if anyone else out there has felt that way, but it's something that I battle with a lot, along when it comes to anxiety, because if I'm not accomplishing something and I feel like I've wasted the day, I become very anxious because I know that I have a lot of responsibilities and a lot of different things that I need to do, and I'm not getting them done. It's one of those that if I'm not getting done my daily task, I feel very defeated. I feel that I'm not strong enough and that I'm not accomplishing enough and that I'm not progressing forward in life. I'm really big about that. Thankfully with the Adderall, it definitely helps. How it helps me with my depression is I take my Adderall 20 milligrams a day. I take 10 in the morning and I take 10 in the afternoon. And taking my Adderall that way, it allows me to feel like I have control back over my life. Having control over my life is everything to me, because then I can actually accomplish tasks. I feel that I'm actually progressing forward and I can actually focus on work. I can focus on my family and I can budget time. There's nothing worse for me that will cause anxiety if I have multiple tasks that I need to do. Next thing you know, I focus too much on trying to accomplish everything all at once, that I've accomplished nothing and the day's gone by. At least with the Adderall, what it does is it allows me to focus in on each task individually, budget enough time that I'm able to accomplish those tasks and move forward. If I'm not budgeting for those tasks, it feels that I'm like a hamster on a wheel and I'm just spinning the wheel and spinning the wheel and spinning the wheel and spinning the wheel. It's very frustrating to the point that I'm just not getting shit done. If you're ADHD, I know that you can relate. It's like a bunch of fireworks are going off in our head and we can't focus in. And I get a lot of depression that will set in, a lot of anxiety that will set in, of just stuff as simple as me not taking time to pay my bills, of me not taking time to spend time with my wife, or not taking time to spend enough effort and energy with work. If I'm not spending the energy and efforts there, all of a sudden I feel like I have a bunch of different plates that are spinning and they're all starting to collapse. And I can't keep the plates all spinning. So the Adderall, with just the ability for it to allow me to focus in and to stop the fireworks happening in my brain, is so important. It's amazing how some of the different medications out there that we're on that aren't necessarily for depression or anxiety actually help us with it. Because I don't know about anyone else, but with me, anxiety can set in really easily with me, and I start to panic and I feel that I'm out of control, and that I'm out of control of my life, and that I start to stress about it. I start to worry about it, and the more that I worry, the more that I shut down. With Adderall, at least, it lets me go, okay, this is what my next task is. This is what I need to accomplish, and I can push forward to that. When it comes to my sobriety of not drinking and not doing, the drugs that I did that really destroyed my life, it reminds me that I'm not fully in control of my life, and that I need to go to a meeting, and that I need to be active in my sobriety, and that I need to be active in my life, because there's nothing worse than just staying still and feeling that everything is passing you by. And when you're ADHD, there is a lot of that out there, that you feel that life is passing you by because you can't focus on that one project at hand, or you're trying too many projects at once. I'm on the road a ton, and if I'm not focused in each time that I get to a new hotel or to a new location, I feel that I've all of a sudden wasted the day, and then I mentally beat myself up for wasting the day. But at least taking my medication is the way that it's prescribed to me, it is a calming, relaxing feeling that sets in. It's almost like, in a sense, a security blanket and a warm feeling that takes over, of knowing, hey, everything that I need to accomplish, I can, and I have enough time to do it, and I don't worry about stressing out about it. Because stress, for me, if the stress builds up too much, it turns from stress into anxiety, into depression, and it sets in, and it sets in heavy like a cloud. And I can't shake that cloud right away. And a lot of times then I started having to reach out for support. The Adderall itself, of remembering that it's okay to be not okay, and not being ashamed of taking Adderall, is so important to me. So if you're out there and you are ADHD, and sometimes you get those depression feelings, one of the things I might try is just double check on if you're taking your medication at the right time and at the same time. Because I know with me, if I don't take my medication at the same time, and I don't take it how it's prescribed to me, next thing you know, I'm going to get that anxious feeling, and it's going to turn into depression. And a lot of times I'll lose track of that and lose a grip of it. That next thing you know, I'm forgetting, I'm not writing things down, and all of a sudden I'm playing catch up with my life, essentially. And there's nothing worse than feeling like you're trying to play catch up on a life that isn't slowing down. So Adderall to me is a big benefit when it just comes to the anxiety, when it comes to depression, of making sure that I'm taking it on time, making sure that I'm accomplishing everything that I need to accomplish, making sure I'm spending the time where I need to spend the time. Because if I'm not spending the time where I need it, next thing you know, my life is falling out of order, and it's falling out of place. If you don't keep a journal, definitely try keeping a journal. Journals definitely help a lot, just in tracking what you've been doing, so that you are holding yourself in a way accountable, and accountable for taking your medication. Because nobody holds us accountable for taking our meds. We don't usually wake up in the middle of the day and go, man, I forgot to take my meds, I need to take them now, or anyone asking or reminding us if we've taken our meds. So it's really our responsibility to. So if you don't have a journal, if you don't have a calendar, I suggest strongly on trying to get one, because it definitely helps, and it keeps you accountable to when you're taking your meds on time, when you're eating on time, when you're getting done everything that you need to do, and that you can get done with the day and you look back and go, man, I accomplished everything I needed to. And when you feel accomplished, you feel happy, at least I do. I feel calm in that I accomplished so much that it fights off that depression, it fights off that anxiety for me, and it really is beneficial. And it really makes me feel like I had a good day, because a good day to everybody is a little bit different. And so Adderall to me is just, it plays such a huge and important role in my life. You know, if you're finding that Adderall doesn't work for you, I mean, it's trial and error to find the right meds that work for you. But when you're ADHD, finding that right meds, I can tell you, at least for me, it was that feeling of comfort, that feeling of control of my life, the life that I no longer had control of, that I was able to regain control and redirect my focus to where I wanted it to be. And I wasn't a prisoner to where my focus wanted me to be at that moment. And literally at that moment, because it would only take a couple more moments, and my attention would shift to something else. So, you know, if you're out there and you're struggling, make sure that you get with your doctor. Make sure that you find the medication that works for you. And if it's not working for you, let your doctor know so that you can. Because I can tell you this from my own experience, if it's not working, you're going to have that feeling of out of control in your life. And Adderall definitely brings the control back into my life, and brings the focus back into my life of where I need it to be. So I love just being able to share my experiences. I love being able to share, you know, the tools and resources that I found. I mean, even when it comes to ADHD, if you don't have fidget spinners, get some fidget spinners. They definitely help. It's not just a cool little trend that had happened and now faded out. That actually really helps to do multiple things at the same time. Like with me, when I'm doing a YouTube channel and YouTube video, I'm editing my video while I'm doing work at the same time, and probably making a phone call. And it allows me to multitask in that way, where my attention is able to be actually focused on what task is happening. And if the phone call is that important, all of a sudden stop everything else, focus on the phone call. As soon as the phone call is done, go back to the, you know, editing a thumbnail, or going back into work, whatever it might be. So definitely find the medication that works for you, and don't give up, because it's not worth giving up, and it's worth getting that control back over your life. I'd love to hear what kind of medications you're on for ADHD and how they help you. So feel free to comment down below. I love to see the comments. I love to read the comments and find out what works for everybody, because it's all different for each one of us. and it helps us along with that trial and error. I hope that you're having an amazing day out there. If you haven't clicked the like and subscribe button, click the like and subscribe button. Love to have you along for the journey. Down below are all the links to all my different social medias, to my mental health Discord. And you know what? Just knowing that we're not going it alone in life, because that's everything. It's amazing what happens when we feel that we're alone and we feel that we're the only ones fighting forward. You're not. Get the support out there and just keep fighting forward every single day.